Hi everyone, it's Julie. Welcome back to another Creative Design Team collab video. For this month, we are featuring the Bright Stack 6x6 paper collection. Now you might think it's just our older collection mixed together, but no, it's so much more than that. It's our favorite collections resized into a smaller formatted print. So for my project, I decided to make mini Slimline cards. I'm going to cut this 6x6 in half to create 4 beautiful cards using this stamp set. I'm going to get back to the stamp set in a minute. I'm also going to color those beautiful flowers with our tri-blend markers. And for this video, I am featuring the stamp masking technique. Now let's get right into it. Now the first thing you have to do is create masks for all of those pretty flowers. You can use Post-it notes. I actually love this removable label tape. I'm going to use intense black ink and I'm going to start creating my little masks for all of those flowers, or for some of them anyways. So I'm just going to stamp directly onto that removable label tape. Now again, you can use just a Post-it note, but I just found that this worked really nicely. I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to cut my little images. I'm cutting right on the image line, and I am a left-handed crafter, so cutting is not something I enjoy doing, but with my micro tip scissors you can see that I can achieve that really well. And I'm not cutting all of the image. Why create more work for myself, right? So let's start creating card number 1. I am going to stamp directly on that pattern paper. I'm going to use my intense black ink and I'm going to use this little sentiment right here. I'm going to test it out to make sure it's stamping really nicely, and I'm going to position it right at the bottom of this panel. And there you have it. It looks really nice. So we're going to start building this card. Now the idea of masking is that you don't want to have your images overlapping each other. So I'm going to stamp this one right here. This is the first one, and I want that to be on the forefront. So I'm going to stamp it first, and then I'm going to add my little mask. And as you can see here, I didn't even cut that entire mask. Why? Again, create more work for yourself. And those little removable labels are perfect for this technique. I'm going to stamp that image once again, and I'm overlapping it onto the mask, and then when you pull the mask, that's where the magic happens. Next up here, we are going to color those beautiful flowers directly onto the pattern paper. Now I really like that look. It just kind of mutes it all together and it blends really well. Now let's talk about that stamp set for a minute. You might be wondering, why is this stamp set so special? Well, it's not just a stamp set, it's the promise of a smile for a special child. Close to My Heart works directly with Operation Smiles to make a difference in a child's life. I will be posted the information about Operation Smile in the description box below. When you purchase this particular stamp set, $7 of the proceeds will go to help with this life-changing mission. So I think that that's pretty cool. I really hope that you love this project and purchase this stamp set and help us bring a smile to a child's face. Now let's get back to this project. So I'm almost done card number 1, and I'm going to put it aside here because I haven't figured out what kind of embellishments I want to add to this card, but I think it's starting to look pretty nice. So we're going to use the back side of that same sheet of 6x6, and we are going to continue on with this masking technique. Now, as I did before, the flower or the cluster of flowers that I want them to pop on top, I stamp them first, I add my little mask, and then I stamp the second image. And when you do this, you're extending your images, you're making them into the shape that you want. So I really like the way that this one turned out, and that sentiment fits really nicely right in the center of this card. So another thing that I like about coloring on the pattern paper is that even if you have bright colors, they get muted into that background almost seamlessly. And when I stamped all of those little images, I felt that it needed a little something more. So I just pulled out my journaling pen and I made little doodle lines all around, or they're just straight line, or as straight as I can make them, and they don't have to be straight. And I just found that it kind of pulled in all of the images together and really framed those cards nicely. Now for this card here, I just used the images that we had and I didn't do any masking. I just felt that it didn't need it, with the sentiment being the length that it was and the flowers that I selected for this particular panel. I didn't need to do any masking. I just needed to put it together and again color them in with the Spectrum Noir markers. So see how that green really blends with that background. And again, I'm going to add my little lines, and this one here was actually really easy to do because you've got a little bit of a grid pattern at the back, so it's a really nice one to start with. So for this last card here, I kind of went to town with the masking. I kind of skipped the masking on the other card, but I just thought, okay, let's just see how much we can join these images together. Now this tiny little flower is really pretty, so I want that one to pop on top, and I'm actually using my mask here to help me with the positioning of the next flowers. I'm kind of eyeballing it just to make sure that I'm giving myself enough distance, and I've added 2 little masks to cover those 2 small flowers. So again, the masks, the idea is that those flowers now are on top and that larger flower is on the back. I'm going to add a little bit of dark branches, and then I'm going to pull off my little mask. I really like that technique. So you will see that a little bit later here I'm going to use my journaling pen and I'm going to fill in the little areas where there was a little bit of a gap between the overlap and the mask. And then to finish off this particular card, I just used the clusters of tiny little flowers to fill in those little blank spots. And then this card was done. So this one's a little bit more intense because there's a little bit more masking involved, but give it a try. It's a lot of fun, and it's an old technique, but a fun technique. So I almost forgot to tell you, so these cards measure 3 by 6, of course, because we use the 6 by 6 format. The black piece of cardstock is 1/8 of an inch larger, and then the finished card is a 6.5 by 4 1/4. I'll be posting those measurements down below. And the other good thing about this card is that you can use a number 8 envelope. So I think those are banker style envelopes, but these little Slimline cards, so my mini Slimline cards, fit perfectly inside those number 8 envelopes. Again, I will post those details in the description down below. So I pulled out my silver loose sequins, and again I pulled out all of those iridescent sequins because when you put them on a color they pick up on the color. So I really liked how they turned out. I really liked the masking technique, the black, the coloring of those little flowers. All of it turned out really sweet with the smaller print on those bright stack paper packs. So I really hope you try to make a few cards with this really special stamp set, and be sure to watch all of the videos from the creative design team. I've posted all of their links in the description box. Just click that little arrow on the right side of the title to expand the description box. That's where you'll see all of the information. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, plus hit that little notification bell to get notified when I post a video. Thank you so much for watching, and have yourself a great day. If you'd like to see more projects from the creative design team, click this link right here.